Hey, don't even try to deny it. But social media, the overwhelming flood of cell phone camera video, clandestine audio recordings, embarrassing pictures of people doing things that cannot be explained even with a Freudian handbook close by, they have become in many cases the immediate judge and jury in everything from murder cases to catching the cat not using the litter box at home. But now add to it the issue of a First Amendment, and we've got a daily discourse. Let's go ahead and welcome in the savvy television columnist at Mediaite, also host of the Daily Wrap here on Newsmax every weekday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a pleasure to welcome Joe Concha back into the show. How you been, Joe?
Eddie B., how are you?
Always a pleasure, my friend. You staying up late at nights, working hard, getting everything done, all right?
Well, yeah, you know, I got my wife is expecting, so that's
really congratulations.
Thank you. We're not sure it's mine, but she's expecting.
Yeah, you know something, Joe? It was honestly the smart aleck in me was going to be the first one to say that, but I felt no. I was going to be nice about it. I'm glad you just went ahead with the normal standard guy joke that is always out there.
Yes,
very nicely done. Hey, let's get down to this whole social media issue, and it's becoming fascinating now, specifically on what's happened at Oklahoma University. Because it's vile what we have seen here. But now there's people, and we spoke to a student at the university last hour who said there's people here at the campus who are worried about First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. I should be able to say anything that I want at this point. So we're really walking into a lot of different areas here. But when you are on social media and something like this happens and it's out there, you are adjudicated immediately by millions of people. There's no turning back at that point.
Yeah, Ed, I call it the social media mob, and once they get a hold of you, it is like the real-life mob. You really have no chance of surviving. It's interesting you brought up the First Amendment aspect, because Heather Hansen on the Daily Wrap just last night, during the commercial, not during our segment on this, said, you know, I'm hearing a lot about First Amendment rights now as it appeals to this case, that why was that one student who was leading that chant in that video that we talked about, why was he expelled without any kind of adjudication? Why wasn't there a process? I mean, he was, you know, in a very revolting and sickening way, exercising, I guess, his First Amendment right to free speech. So should he just automatically be tossed out of school? It's fascinating. But when you get back to the social media aspect, this is what we're going to see now. We're in the age of accountability, Ed, where everything can be recorded. And you have examples everywhere, starting with Mitt Romney during the 2012 election, Donald Stern with the Los Angeles Clippers last year, Ray Rice in that elevator in Atlantic City, the football player for the Baltimore Ravens, or former Raven, I should say. Everywhere there are cameras. Everywhere everybody has the ability through one of these suckers right here, your cell phone, to just record and then send out to the masses. And we're going to see this on a weekly basis, I can guarantee you. If somebody's saying or doing something stupid where their lives are changed or basically for the bad forever.
Well, let's dig into that a little bit with an instance that happened right outside New York City recently. And this is another video that's making the rounds. This is at a McDonald's, I believe it was on Flatbush Boulevard in Brooklyn, I believe, where there was a young girl there who was being beaten, pummeled, both her eyes blackened, cowering under a table to keep from being hurt any further in some sort of a fight. Yet it was taped, it was recorded, it was put out on social media, and nobody in the group wanted to stop it. There were people there cheering it on. No one was willing to do anything, Joe. So we're talking about things that are out there, but it's not making a difference to make somebody say, hey, you know something? I have to stand up for the rights of other people here. It's a joke more often than anything else. It's mob mentality.
I saw this, and I was astounded that somebody could stand there with their camera and record, and they're using their two hands to do that instead of helping out this poor girl that was being beaten. And you could almost hear people cheering in the background. And then not only does she suffer the physical aspects of all this, but then mentally as well. This is now seen by millions of people. It's gone viral. It's on news organizations where this whole thing is now witnessed and documented. And it is almost striking that now we're in that age now where don't help somebody. No. Record it and make sure you get it out on your Twitter account. And who knows how many more followers you could have. It's unsettling, Ed. It's the only word that comes to mind.
About 30 seconds, Ed, before we take a break and come back. What are we then in the media charged to do with these things? We're supposed to report them and show them, yet some people say every time we show them, we continue that bad side of the conversation. We incite people to do it more.
It's every producer's dream, unfortunately, and I know it sounds cold for me to say that, but news got a lot easier to produce now that these videos are everywhere. And then sometimes it could be legitimate news, right? Eric Garner in New York, for instance, and the chokehold or alleged chokehold. So Yeah, for news organizations, they're not going to pass it up if the video is juicy enough. You should go see a movie called Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But we'll talk about that more at the on the other side of the break. I know you got to go.
Yeah, we do have to. But I tell you what, I have the movie. I haven't seen it yet, so I need to look at it because you're about the third person to tell me that when it comes down to what goes on in the media. Hang tight, Joe. We'll be right back. We'll continue this inquest. Let's dig a little bit deeper, if you will, into the matter of convicting someone based on evidence that in the end wasn't as damning as first thought. It's the social media impact on news today, right here on MidPoint.